Bonjour, let's go through section A of the writing exam for the French GCSE together. Okay, so the writing exam for the French GCSE is split into 3 parts. We are going to cover only section A, not B, not C. That's another time. Section A is all about translation, and what you will have is 5 sentences which in the writing exam you will need to translate from English to French. So let's have a look at how to translate as fast as possible and efficiently as possible, because it's all about accuracy in this exam. What does this look like? I have 5 sentences here. The first one is, I must eat more vegetables. The second one is, I would like to become famous. Number 3, last year, I traveled to France for 2 weeks. Number 4, I'm going to study history at university. It's very random. Number 5, my grandparents are coming for Christmas. Though I say it's very random, they are all related to the themes and topics that you have to learn for the GCSE exam. Now, you will need to translate each sentence as accurately as possible. So what are we going to look for to start with? Getting the tense right when you translate from English to French means that you're more likely to be accurate. Therefore, the mark will be higher. So let's have a look at the first one. I must eat more vegetables. Now, what do you notice? What tense is it that we have here? Well, I must is in the present tense. If you want to translate must in French, you need to use the verb devoir. And I'm going to write devoir here. And maybe you know devoir because that means homework. But it also means to must or have to do something, devoir. You must learn it by heart. So I must is je dois. Now, I'm not going to hide you that you must absolutely know your subject pronouns. So je, the tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle, etc. Okay, in order to translate as accurately as possible. So je dois, eat is here in its infinitive. So I must to eat. In effect, this is what we want to say. So je dois manger. More is plus, okay? Plus, and plus is no more. So, je dois manger plus de légumes. I must eat more vegetables. Can you see that? Now, what you've got to understand when you said more of something, we would say plus de and never plus de. The same way as you wouldn't say beaucoup de, you would say beaucoup de, okay? So remember, more of something. If you can replace more vegetables by more of vegetables, then do so in order for you to remember that we need the de between the plus and in this case, the légumes, okay? We cannot say, je dois manger plus légumes. You have to have a partitive in the middle because we are talking about vegetables, okay? Je dois manger plus de viande. Je dois manger plus de poulet, plus de poisson, etc. Let's have a look at the second sentence. I would like to become famous. What tense is I would like? So we are using the modal would, which indicates that it is a conditional. Well done. Now, the difficulty here is how do you create a conditional in French? You need to identify the verb first. The verb is here, like, okay? It's aimer. We've got I, which is je, okay? But how would you say would like? Now, I would like you to learn all the endings of the conditionals, and I've done many videos like that in my course, okay? My complete French course. I've learned French with Alexa. Now, aimer. To form a conditional, you keep the whole infinitive verb as they are, aimer, with the er, and you add the right conditional ending depending on the subject pronoun you're using. We're using je. I'm not putting the e here, because I've got an A starting for aimer. So, j'aimerais. The ending for the conditional is AIS for je. So, I would like, okay? Don't try to translate I and then would and like. It doesn't work in French, okay? You need to know and identify that would is a conditional, and therefore, when you conjugate a conditional in French, you have the verb and then the ending that indicates the conditional. I would like to become famous. Now, to become. Don't translate to and then become. Translate become. Okay, so to become is devenir. Because the fact that I'm saying devenir and I'm using the infinitive form of that verb means it is including to in it. To become. Okay, the form itself, devenir, tells me it's an infinitive anyway. In English, to form the infinitive, you have to put to before the verb, to become. In French, you don't. You just put the whole verb, infinitive, as it is. Famous, célèbre. It's vocabulary. You need to know that, okay? J'aimerais devenir célèbre. Now, let's have a look at number 3. Last year, I traveled to France for 2 weeks. Okay, straight away, I know it's the past. How do I know that? It's because we're using last year. So, l'année, you must learn that by heart, by the way. Dernière. L'année dernière, okay, I traveled, okay? So, traveled, again, part of your themes and topics, you must know this verb properly. To travel is voyager. So, we have the verb, I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put it into its infinitive form, voyager. Okay, that's the infinitive, to travel. Okay. Je, okay. Now, remind me how we form a past tense of a verb in French. Well, a passé composé is an action that took place in the past and is gone and done over with, which is exactly what we have here. Last year, I traveled, gone. I'm not still traveling, I traveled. So therefore, we need a passé composé. How do we form a passé composé? You have the auxiliary verb avoir in the present tense, j'ai, I have. And then you add the past participle, participe passé of that verb to travel. So j'ai, I have. And then you must have learned that at school. Drop the R and add an accent for the ER verb. So, l'année dernière, j'ai voyagé. I have traveled. J'ai voyagé en France. I mean, you need to know your prepositions. I have many videos on that. L'année dernière, j'ai voyagé en France pendant, again, that's vocabulary, 2 semaines. Okay? L'année dernière, j'ai voyagé en France pendant 2 semaines. And that's the perfect translation of sentence number 3. You've got to be very methodical here. Just identify the verb, identify the tense, remember? Now, number 4, I'm going to study history at university. What do you see here? So I see an infinitive. Again, remember, we are not going to translate to study. The infinitive is étudier with IR at the end. That means it was not conjugated. It stays as it is. But I am going. Now comes from the verb going. Aller, aller. That's the infinitive. However, we need to conjugate it with je. Je vais. I am going. Étudier. I'm going to study. Je vais. So you must absolutely learn aller in the present tense, avoir in the present tense, être in the present tense, faire in the present tense. And this will help you conjugate, this will help you translate a lot of things, actually. Even with the speaking and the writing, it's going to help you. So, I go. Je vais. We don't say I and then I'm going. Doesn't exist in French. We don't have what we call the continuous tense. Okay, so je vais étudier à l'université. There you go. Je vais étudier à l'université. Let's have a look at the last one. How would you translate? My grandparents are coming for Christmas. And what tense is that? Well, are coming is what you call in English a present continuous. Doesn't exist in French. So we want to say in effect come. My grandparents come for Christmas. Okay, that's it. How do you say come is venir. Now, venir is the infinitive verb to come. It's not the conjugated verb. And this is where you will have the most difficulty. Identify the subject. My grandparents, so mes grands-parents. Sorry, this is where we're going. Mes grands-parents. Now, the difficulty here is how are you going to conjugate venir in the present tense? Again, it's an IR verb, but from the third group, it's a highly irregular third group. So we conjugate it as follows. Je viens, I come. Tu viens. Il vient. Elle vient. Nous venons. Vous venez. Ils viennent. Elles viennent. So the second difficulty you will have here is identifying mes grands-parents and what subject pronoun can it be replaced by? Je, I? No, it's my grandparents. So what subject pronoun is it? Tu? No, because it's my grandparents. So it is they. They. When we are talking about my grandparents, we talk about they. And in French, it's ils. How do you say are coming? Using venir, using ils, it's viennent. Ils viennent. Okay? So now we've got everything. For Christmas is pour Noël. You need to know that. Okay? You need to know this vocabulary. Mes grands-parents viennent pour Noël. And that is mes grands-parents. That's the translation of sentences number 5. Viennent pour Noël. There you go. How was that for you? Let me show you the full translation. Je dois manger plus de légumes. Je voudrais devenir célèbre. L'année dernière, j'ai voyagé en France pendant 2 semaines. Je vais étudier l'histoire à l'université. Mes grands-parents viennent pour Noël. And that's pretty much what we have done. Oh, I forgot l'histoire. Sorry about that in number 4, but you've got it. Je vais étudier l'histoire à l'université. Now, remember that this particular part of the exam, as in section A, is worth 10 marks out of the 50 marks you potentially could get during the writing exam. Now, if you answer all of these, accurately, then it's 10 points. Have a look at this video for section A of the reading exam. That's it for me. Follow Learn French with Alexa GCSE for more, and of course check my course out for GCSE French preparation. That's it for me. Au revoir, à bientôt, bisous bisous.